that we are supposed to have towards one another is rejecting a gift that Allah gave us. That's rejection of a gift that Allah gave us. And that's a love that not only you should have for me or I should have for you, but we should have for any Muslim, anybody who says, La ilaha illallah. Actually, the Quran goes a step further. The Quran says, وَلَا تَقُولُ لِمَنْ أَلْقَى إِلَيْكُمُ السَّلَامِ. Don't you even say about the one who says salam to you, لَسْتَ مُؤْمِنًا, that you're not a true believer. Notice, to us, socially speaking, when we say salam to each other, that's a sign that this person is a Muslim. This person is a Muslim. But the Quran says if someone says salam to you, then you have no right to think anything but that person is a mu'min. Not Muslim, mu'min. Now you all know that mu'min is a higher status of believer. That's something we all aspire to be. And the mu'min is described in the Quran as قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. They've already attained success. The true believers have already attained success. And now Allah is teaching us our love for each other and our respect for each other as Muslims is so high that when someone says salam to me or I say salam to them, they are supposed to think of me as a mu'min, not even as a Muslim. It doesn't matter what I look like, what color of skin I have, or how knowledgeable I am, or where I see them, or where I don't see them. I don't judge the status of another Muslim's iman. You never did that. Okay, you guys can still hear me?
Yeah.
So that's the first thing I wanted to share with you. It's just a reminder for myself and all of you that we are supposed to give each other benefit of the doubt just on account of the fact that we share salams with each other. Now what I wanted to share with you this evening, actually I was quite confused what to talk to you about this evening. And because I have limited opportunity to share some reminders with you that will benefit you and inshallah benefit myself as well. So I've decided to share with you the final passage, the final ayat of Surah Al-Hajj. And these ayat, every time I get a chance, I talk about these ayat. Every time if I get an opportunity to speak to a group of people, I probably end up choosing these ayat anyway. Why? Because I personally have a very close relationship with these ayat. These ayat have helped me quite a bit in my life. And I feel like every Muslim, especially younger Muslims, the youth of our ummah, they need to remind themselves of this particular passage because it has a very powerful message for them. And I hope that I'm able to clearly deliver that message to all of you, inshallah ta'ala. Before I begin, the younger audience here, I have incredible eyes. So if you are playing on your phone, I will find you. I will find you. Okay? If you have Angry Birds Star Wars, I know about it. I know. Yes, I do. That's right. Okay. So yes, and I have my people watching you, and you don't know who they are, but they're probably sitting next to you. Okay, so you better watch out. Okay. Anyway, Allah Azza wa Jalla begins in this remarkable passage. He says, Ya ayyuhan nas, people. Allah is addressing all people. So the ayah is not limited to the Muslims. He's addressing all humanity. And then he says, ضُرِبَ مَثَلًا, an example has been struck, which roughly speaking means an example has been given. There's a difference between saying, I'm giving you an example, or Allah gave an example, or Allah struck an example. When you say Allah struck an example, the question, who's giving the example, the answer is simple. Who's giving the example? Allah is giving the example. When Allah says an example is about to be given, or an example has been given, or has been struck, then Allah does not mention Himself. He makes Himself what this is called a passive form, sigatul majhul. What that does is you don't know who's giving the example. You just know that an example is being given. What's the point of doing that? The point of doing that is, instead of paying attention to the speaker, you pay attention to the speech. Instead of paying attention to the speaker, you pay attention to what?
Speech.
Right? This is important now. Because for Muslims, if you tell a Muslim that Allah says this, they will pay extra attention. They will pay more attention. What's the reason they will pay more attention? Because Allah said it. But if you tell a hard kafir, like a kafir who rejected the Quran, who hates the Prophet ﷺ, who has heard the ayat of the Quran for 10 years in Makkah and doesn't want to hear it anymore, every time he hears Allah said something, he wants to hear more or he doesn't want to hear it all. He doesn't want to hear it, it has nothing to do with it. So now the kafir is being talked to, and the rest of humanity is being talked to, and maybe the rest of humanity also, they have some assumptions about Islam, about the Prophet, about the Quran. So even before you get to say what the Quran says, oh, the Quran, I want nothing to do with the Quran. Don't tell me about Islam. I don't want to know about Islam. I don't want anything to know about it. So Allah uses a format that removes Himself from the equation and says, just listen. An example is about to be given. I want to share an idea with you. Just think about the idea itself. And who is this idea being given to? By the way, I can hear you guys whispering in the back, so if you could stop, it will help me. Okay. They probably didn't hear me. But anyway, so what was I saying? Something about Islam. What was I saying?
Allah is giving example.
You're focusing on the idea itself, right? Instead of the speaker. Now this is important because we as human beings, we can't help that. It's actually a part of the way we take in information. You kind of look at who's talking and their appearance and maybe their age or maybe their accent. All of these things, we take them into account before we take what they're saying seriously or not. This is just a human weakness. So if, for example, there are some of you that are standing outside, and they don't see me right now. There's no camera out there or anything, and they don't see me, but they hear me, right? And if they didn't know, it's a guy that sounds like me, but it's not me at all. It's some 14-year-old kid with a baseball hat on backwards and a gold chain around his neck, and he's talking like this. He's giving a speech, but it's the exact same speech. It's the exact same speech. You guys on the inside of the room are terribly offended. And many of you are saying we have to make up for this transgression and I don't know if he's a biha yet or not. Or, you have all kinds of confusions in your head. The people outside, do they have a problem at all?
No.
No. You know why? Because they didn't see anything. All they did was what? Hear. So they actually have a kind of advantage. You know what their advantage is? The only thing they will judge is the ideas. But it's impossible for you. You can't just judge the ideas. You're going to judge who's sitting here, why is he dressed like the kuffar, why does he, there's going to be different things that are going in your head, is what I'm saying. Okay, inshallah, that's not what you're thinking. If you are, whatever thoughts are crossing your mind. So now, Allah Azza wa Jalla takes that away and then gives an example. And the example itself it's strange and it's beautiful. He says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ تَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ. No doubt about it, those that you are calling other than Allah. So Allah is talking to the mushrikun of Makkah, the people who do shirk of Makkah. He's telling them that they call other people or other idols, other gods besides Allah. لَنْ يَخْلُقُوا ذُبَابًا. They will not create a fly. The false gods that you worship are not capable of creating a single fly. Okay. Strange enough, but he goes further and he says, وَلَوْ اجْتَمَعُوا لَهُ. Even if they all gathered together to make a single fly, they wouldn't be able to do it. But he doesn't stop there either. He says, وَإِنْ يَسْلُبْهُمُ الذُّبَابُ شَيْئًا. If the fly was to take something away from the god, the false god, if the fly stole something from him, لَا يَسْتَنْقِذُوهُ مِنْهُ. They can't even try to get it back. They're incapable of getting back what is taken. What in the world is Allah talking about? First of all, Allah is saying those who you call other than Allah are incapable of creating what? A single fly. Even if all of those gods got together, they wouldn't be able to do it. Second of all, why does he say if the fly would take something away from them? You see, the mushrikun of Arabia, like many religions of the world, had idols. And in many religions that have idols or statues, that have temples, and they have a large statue, people go there, but they don't go empty-handed. They take some milk with them, they take some honey with them, they take some, chocolate with them or something, and they put it in front of the idol for respect, and they put some candles and stuff like that, and they do their worship or whatever they do. Right? And you're not supposed to touch that food, because that food is dedicated for their God. So they bring this chocolate milk all the way up 1,000 steps on top of the temple, and they put it in front of them, and you're not supposed to drink any of it because it's especially for that God. Now, if you're a tourist, and you don't know anything, and you go to that temple and you're taking pictures, you see chocolate milk right there. So what happens? Hey, now if you try to do that, what's the guy going to do? The guy that's, doing this thing or whatever, he's going to slap your hand in. Ladies can't hear me. A little bit down. That's the opposite of... So you're saying ladies can't hear me, so let's make it harder for them. Okay, all right, ladies, that wasn't my call. Okay. So, apparently there's an echo. Okay. I was talking about something about Islam.
The fly, the milkshake.
The flies.
Milkshake, the slap.
Oh, chocolate milk! Thank you. Okay. So, you're about to drink the milk, but the guy that's running the temple, he slaps you. Then you can't touch that. Because that's not supposed to be for you, that's supposed to be for who?
The God.
It's for the giant statue that's like staring at you, you know? Like, he's going to drink that later, apparently. But you know what happens when you leave food open? When you leave food open, what shows up? Flies. Flies show up. So flies come into the temple. And the fly sits on the statue. He sits on his nose and says, I'm going to drink your chocolate milk. You mind? And then it goes down and it sips on the milk. And the poor guy that's worshiping the God, he's constantly doing this. And that's not part of his prayer. He's doing that because he's getting rid of what?
Flies.
But the flies don't give up. They keep taking more and more and more. Allah is teaching these people that your belief that this God is powerful, your belief is being destroyed in front of your eyes, not by a prophet, not by somebody who's coming and teaching you Tawheed. You know who's destroying your beliefs? A fly. A fly comes and drinks the milk and runs off, flies off, and you can do nothing about it, and your God can't do anything about it. Even if all of those idols got together, they couldn't do anything about that. لا يستنقذوه منه. So Allah Azza wa Jalla says, just think about what you're doing. Think about what you're doing. Now this ayah is remarkable for many reasons. One of them I want to highlight is that in this ayah, Allah Azza wa Jalla is asking the people who don't believe. He's asking them, you have lots of criticisms for what I believe. You see, they called the Prophet ﷺ, they called him a liar. They called him insane. They called him possessed. They called him all kinds of things. But now in this ayah, Allah is saying, okay, you can call me whatever you want. Let me ask you some questions about what you do. Does that make sense to you? Can you think for yourself what you do? In other words, instead of you questioning my faith all the time, let me ask you a simple question about your faith. Let me explain this to me. Can you help me understand this? Just listen to this idea itself. You understand what's happening here? Now let me tell you why this is important to understand for Muslims today. Where I live in the United States, I'm sure it happens here too. Some of the holidays come up. Christmas comes up. New Year's comes up. You know, we have Halloween's a big deal. Is Halloween a big deal over here?
No.
Okay. So we have Halloween back. These holidays come up, and then our kids, they go to school, and their friends say, "Hey, you don't celebrate Christmas? You're not coming to the Christmas party? You're not going to the prom? You're not going to the New Year's party? You're not going to this? You're not going to..." And we're constantly being asked, "You guys are so strange. You don't do this, you don't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that." And the Muslims are coming, and they come to the Imam, the poor young guy comes to the Imam, my co-workers are asking me why I can't go to the Christmas party. What's a good answer I can give them? What's a good answer I can give them so they can listen and they can understand that I'm not crazy, and I'm not that backwards, I'm not that pre-modern, I'm not an ape, that lives in a cave somewhere, that I'm actually a civil human being, and somehow I can justify to them that me not going to the Christmas party is okay. If you give me a rational explanation, please. You know what's wrong with this entire picture? It's as though you feel like you need to explain yourself. You don't need to explain yourself. People who are celebrating that Allah has a son, people who are celebrating that and don't even know why they're celebrating it, have no logical explanation. When somebody says, "You're not coming to the Halloween party," why not? Why don't you get dressed up for Halloween? Well, you're dressed up like a zombie. Your mother is dressed up like a mummy. You people are, and you're asking me why I'm not participating in the celebration of dressing myself in duct tape. I don't understand the question. I'm not the one who has to explain myself. You understand? Like, our religion is full of reason. It's full of evidence. What you are calling to is actually silly. You're not in a position to put me on the spot and say, "Well, you need to explain yourself." Actually, it's the other way around. That's what the ayah is teaching us. So instead of us constantly, I still can hear you in the back talking, having your board meeting. Can you please stop having your board meeting? Okay, so, what was I saying? Something about Islam?
Don't explain yourself.
I don't need to explain myself to you. You need to explain yourself to me. Just listen to the idea. Why do you do it anyway? Why do you do it anyway? It's a simple thing. You know, one time I was traveling on the train when I was in college, and I was really big on like da'wah. I'm going to get any non-Muslim I meet, I'm going to give them da'wah. So I'm sitting on the Long Island Railroad. There's a guy next to me reading the Wall Street Journal. And, you know, he's got a suit tie on, and he's reading like the newspaper. How do I give this guy da'wah? How do I do it? How do I do it? So and he's looking at the stocks page, back when people still read newspapers. And so I looked at him and go, the market's crazy. And he goes, yeah, man, it's crazy. And we just start talking. And then he tells me he's a Catholic, and he goes to church on Sunday or whatever. So I asked him a question about Christianity. Like, isn't it crazy you guys believe that Jesus is the Son of God? Because, you know, there's no human father, but, you know, with Adam, there's no mom or dad. So he's like, he should be like twice as rightful to be God. And he's like, no mom and no dad. You know? So he looked at me, and he's a really smart guy, obviously. He works in Wall Street, you know, making a good amount of money. He goes, well, I guess that's the mystery of faith, isn't it? So the point I'm trying to make is, instead of it, so why do you people wash your feet in the sink? Instead of me having to explain to him why I wash my feet in the sink, why don't you explain to me how God has a son? Why would you believe that? That's a little more bigger problem than me washing my feet. you know. So now let's go a little bit further. Allah Azza wa Jalla makes a comment. He says, ضَعُفَ الطَّالِبْ وَالْمَطْلُوبِ, which is an axiom. You can call it a lesson, the lesson of this ayah, which is one of the most powerful lessons of the entire Quran. Allah says the seeker and the sought are both inherently weak. Let me put that in simple English for you. Allah is saying every single human being and every single creature on this in existence, every single thing Allah created has a need, has a talab, which makes it a talib. Every one of us has a need. Every one of us is seeking something. And obviously, for example, I'm a human being, so I need water. I need drink. That makes me a talib. What do I need? Water. That makes the water matlub, the thing that I need. So every one of you is in need, and every one of you has the thing that they need. They need something. Allah is saying in this ayah, whoever has a need is weak. And whatever they need is also weak. And it's not that it became, there's different kinds of weakness. Weakness could be you used to be strong, and later on you became weak. Like a young man is strong, but when he becomes 85, he becomes weak. That's not what it's talking about. When you use the word da'ufa, the kalma form of the Arabic language, it suggests something that was always there. That's something that was always there. So Allah is saying every seeker has always been and will always be weak. And everything that you're seeking has always been weak and will always be weak. That is the statement Allah makes at the end. So in that example, is the fly strong or weak?
Weak.
It's weak. Is the false god strong or weak? He's weak. The worshipper is weak. The worshipper is weak, and the false god he's worshipping is weak. That false god is so weak he can't even catch the fly. The fly itself is so weak it needs food. Everything in the example is weak, and everything is a talib and has a matlub. All of which are weak. Now apply that to yourself. Look, some of you are students in university or college. Some of you are younger, I had some kids that are memorizing Quran, and Allah help them complete memorization of the Quran and bring that memorization to purpose and benefit for this whole time. Right? There are some of you young men that are trying to get married, you're looking to get married. There are some of you that are looking to get your immigration papers sorted out. There are some of you that are looking to purchase a home. Some of you that are looking to get a job. Some of you that are looking to get a promotion. Some of you that are looking to start a business or open up a second store, open up a second restaurant. All of you are seeking something. We're all seeking something. And Allah is saying, so long as you are seeking these things, what does that prove? That you're weak. And whatever you're seeking, you should know that it is itself weak. Which means if you are weak and you are seeking something weak, even when you get it, you are still going to be weak. Even when you get it, you're not going to become strong. See, human beings, we have this thing, I'll explain it to you through my children. My boys, they're obsessed with Legos. They're obsessed with Legos. So, and I like to do psychological experiments. It's a problem I have. So I do psychological experiments on my children. So, I will buy them a box of Legos and I'll put it on the shelf for 3 weeks. You cannot open it for 21 days. You can look at it, you can touch the box, you can shake it, but you can't open it. Now these two boys, on a daily basis, come at the shelf and they stare at it. Then they look at it. They know every little label on there. They even know made in China. They know everything about it. You know, they have all this information, and they're itching. One day, the day will come. The gates of Jannah will open, you know, and we will put together these. And then the day finally comes. Guys, we're going to open up the box today. Oh, the excitement in their face is worth watching. It's incredible. And then you finally open the box, and they're busy putting it together. The younger one, who doesn't know how to put it together, is hovering around the older one. He's waiting for him to put it together, so as soon as he does, he's going to grab it and run away. That's his plan. You can see it in his eyes, right? So anyway, they're doing this, and it's really fun to watch, but about 2 hours after they're done, 2 hours after they're done, you know what they come and tell me? Abba, you know there's a new Legos that came out. You get that one? What just happened? You didn't have it. You didn't have it for 3 weeks. And it was the most important thing to you. Once you had it, not 2 hours go by, and where do your eyes go? Where does your heart go? The next thing. You know what? This is weak now. I already did this. You guys finish a video game? You beat it? And then you know some of your video games, even after you beat the game, you can free roam, you can roam in the game and, you know, do more assassinations or whatever you can do. How long before you die? It's whatever, man. I'm done. This is done. When's the next one coming out? Isn't that what happens to you? This is what the entire movie industry is based on. They give you, you know, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and then a prequel. You know? And there's so many quotes now, I can't keep up with them anymore, right? But they'll keep pushing more and more and more, and you keep going for more and more and more and more endless stories that keep coming, and you keep pushing it. This is our weakness. This is our weakness. But you know, this weakness can become dangerous. Just like weakness in your immune system, right? If you have a weak immune system, then you can get hit with a disease. This Allah is describing a spiritual weakness, which means you can get hit with a spiritual disease. So let's try to understand that a little bit. You know, there's tragic cases where there's a boy, a young man, he's obsessed with a girl. Halal or haram, I'm not discussing. But he's obsessed. He wants to marry this girl. And even before marrying her, he's liked her on his Facebook, and they're texting each other, and all of this is going on, but her family says no. And then they decide that she's going to get married somewhere else, and she agrees. And she got engaged and all of this. What happens to that boy? He gets into serious depression. He starts drinking. He starts overdosing on drugs. He starts doing all kinds of crazy things because he can't handle the idea that this girl is not going to marry him. He's not going to be with her. Because of that one thing he was seeking. He was seeking this girl. He couldn't have her. His own weakness came out. He just fell apart. There are people who lose their business. They lose their business. Their business gets seized, or their business gets destroyed, and they were millionaires, and now they're bankrupt overnight. Just overnight, they're bankrupt. You know, a lot of those people commit suicide. They can't handle it. You know, what they sought was money. When the money went away, it became clear how weak they are. They couldn't survive. So weak they didn't even want to live anymore. They didn't even have the strength to want to continue to live anymore. SubhanAllah. Killed themselves. Allah Azza wa Jalla is giving us this message, but He didn't begin, Ya ayyuhal ladina amanu. He said, Ya ayyuhan nas. People, listen, you're becoming weak, and you're hurting yourself. When you are weak, you are in danger. Isn't it the case? When you're weak, you're in danger. Allah is telling all of humanity that they're in danger because they are making themselves weak, because they're running after the wrong thing. Now listen, this is that first ayah of this passage. What does He say in the next ayah? He says, مَا قَدَرُ اللَّهَ حَقَّ قَدْرِهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَقَوِيٌّ عَزِيزٌ. It's remarkable. Allah just told you and me that we are weak. And in the next ayah He told us He is strong. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَقَوِيٌّ عَزِيزٌ. He's the ultimate authority, worthy of respect, the mighty. And then he said, even before, مَا قَدَرُ اللَّهَ حَقَّ قَدْرِهِ. They didn't respect Allah like He deserved to be respected. They didn't appreciate Allah like He deserved to be appreciated. They didn't estimate, realize the power of Allah like He deserved to be thought of, like He deserved to be considered. They didn't consider Allah like He deserved to be considered. In other words, Allah is teaching us in this ayah a very powerful lesson, and that is if a human being can internalize in their heart, not just on their tongue, in their heart, if they can internalize that the only thing I really seek is to make Allah happy. That's all I seek. Then they will become strong. Because what they are seeking is strong. And that's the only one who's strong. Everything else is weak. So when you seek Him, you become strong. And so no matter what is taken from you, if your health is taken from you, if your money is taken from you, if your immigration is taken from you, if your career is taken from you, you will be fine because your iman is not taken from you. You'll be fine. You'll still have a smile on your face. You will have a treasure that gives you happiness that no movie can buy, no furniture can buy, no house can buy, no car can buy, because that happiness lives inside of you and is finally putting your heart at ease. That is Allah, that's the power of believing in Allah. It makes human beings strong and they're able to deal with anything. They are able to deal with anything. I've seen this with my own eyes. Like an example I share all the time, I'll share it with you again. It's such a remarkable example to me. In the United States a few years ago, almost a decade ago now I believe, or more, when Katrina happened, when the terrible hurricane came to Louisiana, the city of New Orleans, much of the city was flooded. Lots of people were killed. There was actually a masjid that was completely destroyed too. Another masjid, the entire neighborhood went down, the masjid is still standing, actually. But I had a friend there who used to own a car dealership. And they had the car dealership right on the lot of the water. Luxury cars. They sold used luxury cars. And the brother bought all the cars in cash. He never used credit. And when the water came, because their car lot was right on the water, all the cars are gone. The only car that survived was I think it was an LS400, a Lexus, that they escaped in. That's it. It was the only car that was left. And when I went to visit him after, they used to deliver pizza in that car. That's what they were doing for a living. They were making at least $200,000 to $300,000 a month profit before. And now the dad is in the back making the pizza, the mom is cutting the vegetables, and the son is delivering the pizza. That's what they're doing. And that's not their pizzeria, they're all employees for another person. They're working there. And I went to visit them. And I knew them before and I see them after. I tell you, anybody else in that situation would just take a bottle of Advil, pop the whole thing, and get it over with. They would not be able to handle it. But these people have a smile on their face. And I feel sad for them. And they're happy. So I called Uncle over and said, "Uncle, explain this to me, please. How are you happy? After everything that happened." And he says to me, when I had all that money, and all those customers, and all those sales, all day I was thinking about the invoices, and the shipment, and the delivery, and the customer, and the taxes, and the customs, and all this other stuff. This was all I thought about all the time. And now after all of it is gone, Allah has still given me a roof over my head, there's still food on the table, it's still halal rizq money, but now I have time to go to the masjid and actually sit and make time for sunnah, and I get to do my azkar, and then when I'm praying, I'm not thinking about the taxes, and I'm not thinking about the customs, and I'm not thinking about the delivery that's late, or I'm not thinking about the customer whose check did not clear. I'm not thinking about any of that, I'm just thinking about Allah. I have never been happier. This man, the attitude he has, you can only have it if you have iman in Allah. Real iman in Allah, not on your tongue, in your heart. That's مَا قَدَرُ اللَّهَ حَقَّ قَدْرِهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَقَوِيٌّ عَزِيزٌ. This is what Allah Azza wa Jalla has given us in this thing. Now there are other people who believe in God. It's not just us. Christians believe in God. Jews believe in God. Hindus believe in God. Buddhists believe in some form of deity. There are other people that don't even have a religion. They say, I am not religious, but I believe in God. I'm spiritual. Right? I'm anti-religion, but I am a spiritual person. There's people like that. I meditate. Okay, keep on meditating. That's fine. But what's the difference between us and them? What's the difference between... And by the way, they say they feel peace too. There are guys that sit, they sit on the cliff, at the edge of a cliff, like this for 3 hours, and like, I get a lot of peace, man. There are guys that do like, they feel spiritually empowered when they skydive. Like, there are people like that. There are people that find spirituality in music. There are certainly people like that. There are other people that, they do all kinds of interesting practices to find spirituality or find, calm and relaxation and meditation. Well, what's the difference between that and us?
Salah.
The one difference is haqq versus batil. There's fake peace. There's peace, and there's a kind of peace where you have to forget reality. Because when they meditate, what are they trying to do? Forget reality. You don't want to deal with this reality. When the Muslim concentrates in salah, we're supposed to forget about the world? Are we?
No.
Actually, no. We're not. Think about this. When we make salah, are we allowed to close our eyes and pray?
No.
Wouldn't it be easier for you to concentrate in salah if you just close your eyes? Tell me about that. Wouldn't it be less distraction? My God, even our musalla is distracting. It's got so many thingies.
Oh, God.
If you start comparing whether it's symmetrical or not. But anyway, tell me this. When you're reciting the Quran, if you're paying attention to the Quran, when you're reciting the Quran, أَفَلَا يَنْظُرُونَ إِلَى الْإِبِلِ كَيْفَ خُلِقَتْ وَإِلَى السَّمَاءِ كَيْفَ رُفِعَتْ وَإِلَى الْجِبَالِ كَيْفَ نُصِبَتْ وَإِلَى الْأَرْضِ كَيْفَ سُطِحَتْ. You're paying attention in the Quran. What is Allah making you pay attention to? You're standing in the salah and Allah is saying, didn't they look at the camel? So now you're standing in salah thinking about what? A camel. وَإِلَى السَّمَاءِ. Didn't they look at the sky? Now you're standing in salah, but you're thinking about what? The sky. وَإِلَى الْأَرْضِ. To the earth, to the mountain. Isn't Allah making you think about reality? He does, doesn't he? Oh, the Quran is not something that makes you forget about this world. The Quran is something that gives you clarity about this world. Even when you're engaged in a spiritual exercise like salah, you're thinking about history, you're thinking about the creations of Allah, you're thinking about what Allah created all around, you're thinking about your life, you're thinking about your history, the things you've done. You're not forgetting about reality, you're dealing with reality. Every other faith, when they want you to concentrate, forget about your problem. You don't even exist. You are a butterfly. I've seen some of those things. I am a leaf. Yes, I am floating right now. Okay, dude, you're not a leaf. You're still a person. Really stupid one, but you're still a person. But the Quran makes us deal with reality. And you know what? You will not find peace in life by running away from reality. You can only find peace if you have the strength to deal with reality. And the only thing that can give you strength to deal with reality is Iman in Allah. That's the only thing. There are people, wallahi, they have everything.